Voila!
Bona. Skunk. Zwana. Yeah, what's up, popo? Hey, been tryna get to you, but tabanye bayan kipelem popo.
Welcome to the Amanda Nothando Show. I'm Amanda and thank you guys for watching. I am so super excited about today's show because joining me on the show today is a wonderful guest and a wonderful friend and guest. I'm not going to say the name now because I would love you to get somebody those who know people that I've worked with, like in movies such as Paranoia and Pulling a Neck. She's an actress and a music composer and also studying music. And before I actually have my guest over, let's just have a bit of chat on something that's actually bothering me because it's making me feel as if I'm so old. But no, I'm not. The whole purpose of the show is playing games from your childhood, right? Playing games from your childhood, meaning that we used to socialize with real people, not with your phone or your computer or the camera or whatever, right? But just last week, I just noticed that Facebook, now has stories. And I was like to myself, why? Why? What are stories for those who are not up to date with Facebook or social media? So stories are like, for example, I think they started with Snapchat, if I'm not mistaken. The way they kind of took the idea from Snapchat, whereby you take a video of yourself for about a minute, if I'm not mistaken. Right? 10 seconds actually. It was 10 seconds and it stays on your timeline or whatever for maybe 24 hours or until you delete it. So Snapchat was really fun. I used to be a Snapchat crazy girl and now I don't even know. I don't even know the last time I went to Snapchat. And then that whole stories business from Snapchat goes to Instagram. And then you're like, okay, what am I supposed to keep up on? Instagram or Snapchat, because I'm addicted to Snapchat and Instagram. Yeah, I'm addicted to posting. Instagram is so good for pictures. Honestly, I am an addict on Instagram, those who know me. But the whole stories business, I don't find it fun on Instagram, maybe because Instagram is not private. And then now we go on to Facebook. Facebook now has stories. And then you're like, where's the privacy now? Or I know Facebook has privacy, it does, compared to Instagram, but I feel as if now I understand why people say, oh, we can't keep up with this whole technology business and whatnot. I feel like I am getting there too. I never thought I would actually say that, but I can't keep up. And what does it mean for the future for our kids? You know what I mean? Our kids' generation. If this is what's happening right now, it's making some of us go crazy. I'm still young, but I feel old now because you see kids who are 2-3 years old. They'll come and tell you something that's on social media and you're like, where did you know that from? Why? How? You're not supposed to be on social media to begin with, looking at your age, but it's ridiculous. How can I keep up? So my question comes in to say, how do you, especially parents, let's put it on, this is a question to parents. How do you train your kids to become more social than just technical, than being on social media, being on technology, the phone and whatever? How do you get to make them engage into conversation with real people out there, say have a gathering? Obviously, I think I've noticed a lot of times, even when we have gatherings, you see somebody just on their phone. How is that helping in terms of interaction, right? And I can imagine now when we have our kids, when I have my kids, I don't know how I'm going to be able to train them not to be on their phone, or maybe there's going to be worse technology than phone, there's going to be worse technology than a computer, there's going to be worse technology than the social media that's out there, right? But it's something that's just caught my attention. I was like, you know what? I would love to share with you people, and also would like to hear your feedback on what you think about social media and how parents manage to get their kids to have a proper conversation with a real person, like face to face, without having to just be on their phone, because these things are causing cancers, they're causing a whole bunch of diseases before you know it. Because there's one time when I don't remember what I was reading, but it says that the more you look on your phone, you actually develop some chronic disease on your spine, which I don't think is actually good, and nobody wants that, right? But then this technology is very addictive. What can you do, right? So please share how you handle these situations, and how you train your kids on how to socialize physically with other people, or if even you adults, are you able to keep up with technology? How are you taking technology nowadays, right? It's pretty funny. So it's not, today I'm not on those deep sensitive issues, those who know me, but then it was just social media and technology, and how you guys take it, how you find it, and it'll be nice to hear from you on what you think about today's social media, and how you think the future is gonna be like in the technical world. So that's it for today. Right now, we're going to have our guest for the show, and I hope those who already guessed already know who the person is. And my guest today is gonna be Patricia. Exactly, she is amazing, Patricia. I hope you guys will enjoy today's show. Thank you, and see you soon. Welcome back. Joining me on the show is my lovely guest and friend, Patricia. And welcome, Patricia, on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of the show, and thank you for inviting me.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you came, actually. I'm glad I invited you, because it had been a while since we saw you. The last time we worked together was on Pulling a Nick,
Yeah.
right? Which was almost a year ago, right?
I know, crazy, right?
Yeah, and then I was like, you know what? When I start my talk show, I'm gonna have Patricia over, because you're amazing.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Thank you for being here, and it's good to see you. So a brief background about Patricia here. She's a student at the UFA, which is the University of Alberta, studying music. And other than music, she also does acting on the side, which is so super awesome, because I've had the opportunity to work with her on film, right? On a whole lot of film projects, 2 film projects, and have seen more of her film work.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I must tell you that, guys, Patricia is a talented actress and composer. That's what I've actually had to experience with her.
Aww.
And I'm yet to experience a bit more, like in terms of music, especially, because the only thing that I know is composing of film production, right?
Yeah.
And that is awesome of you. You're so talented.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So I've also had an opportunity to work to see your premiere. I mean, the premiere that you invited me the other time.
Oh, yeah.
That was produced by Jeremy Lafont.
Yeah.
With Cree Production.
Oh, yeah.
And his work is pretty good. Having to get you on as one of the main roles as a prostitute's friend was quite interesting. Considering your character, number one, the real Patricia that we know, number one, and then the Patricia that we know in Paranoia. Let's say, by the way, what is Paranoia? Your character in Paranoia?
Oh, Ursula.
Ursula, exactly. Yeah. The sad thing about it, every time I forget what I write. Right, seeing you as Ursula and seeing you as the receptionist in Pulling a Nick, those are like totally different roles.
Yeah,
right?
they are.
And compared to your actual personality, I was like, oh God, girl, you got talent.
Oh, thank you.
And I must say, Jeremy found a good actress.
Oh,
when
thank you.
When I went for the premiere, I was like, oh wow, that was good. It was good work that you did.
Yeah.
So tell me about your education.
Okay.
Right? Why study music?
Yeah.
And why study music and not drama, or maybe a profession like medicine, law? You know how parents can be like, studying music? Like, what is it going to give you, right?
Yeah.
So why music?
Well, it's actually a pretty long story, but it all started off with the piano. Well, my first instrument I learned how to play was a clarinet.
Right.
And then that was over in grade 7. And then I eventually picked up how to play the piano back a year later, like almost when I was in late grade 8, so I was almost 14 at the time. And because I already knew how to play the clarinet, I just picked up the piano pretty fast. So within the first month of playing piano, I was already jumping to third grade piano.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So then what happened afterwards was I decided to keep pursuing it. I went to grade 4, went to grade 5, and then they went for like a typical year. So then 2 years later, I was in grade 6. I was starting grade 10 in high school, and I was actually kind of considering maybe I'll pursue music. I mean, just it's kind of in my mind. I mean, I was earning scholarships through competitions and stuff, and like enjoyed it and stuff.
So would it be the part where the parents are like, okay, I think it's a good idea?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's actually benefiting like you in some way, right? Because that's the reason why parents want us to have a profession, right? To say at least you need to have some sort of income, right? For security and stuff like that. But having scholarships must have been something nice and good and made your parents be confident in you pursuing your dream, right? Okay.
Yeah. And then afterwards, so I had a teacher, and a new teacher, and because all the teachers were moving to Calgary or something, and like at some point, this girl that I was talking to, she was like, "So you're in grade 6 piano, and you're considering going to music in university. Not to say that it's impossible, but like that's very hard because you're expected to play grade 10 level pieces." And I'm like, well, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to try. So
exactly, because didn't that actually discourage you in some way?
There were actually a lot of factors that felt very discouraging. I mean, like, there was this amazing pianist. His name was Peter Wecken, and like he played awesome piano. I was just like, I was so like personally enraged. Like, but he was like also kind of like. He also ended up becoming like one of the factors that helped push me forward because it was like a way of me comparing myself to him and then me wanting to be go up to that level too of how good he was. Okay. So there was a factor like that going on. There was factors like me not having that amount of time learning how to play piano because a lot of people start playing piano when they're like 4 years old. So I started when I was almost 14. So it was like I felt like there was a challenge in that where people had more years of experience performing and playing versus me just starting to take it seriously. I decided to still pursue it anyways. I decided to work hard. So then I did my grade 6. I skipped grade 7, went to grade 8 piano. Skipped grade 9 piano, and then went to grade 10.
Wow, okay. That must have been, you really had some confidence,
Yeah, it was a lot of hard work.
I get it,
And then, I passed all the RCM exams, and alongside I was doing a lot of theater acting too, so it was like a very artsy life I was living.
So it's actually, if it's the fact that when you were asked that when it felt a bit discouraging to say how can you start music now and whatever, clearly it shows that it's your natural talent, right? Because had it not been your talent, you wouldn't have gone this far, right? And it would still be difficult. You'd still have it in your head that, oh my gosh, I can't do this and whatever. But then you focused and you told yourself, this is what I want, and went for it, right?
Exactly. I mean, like, the thing that really pushes you is the passion. I mean, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's always going to be a challenge. And I've had a lot of support from other people too, which has helped me get to where I was. I mean, if I didn't have support from my parents, that would be a challenging factor. If I didn't have support from my teachers, I've had a lot of support from my teachers. They helped me grow to be the musician and even actress as I am today. And then just the belief in yourself, because I think self-compassion is important too. I mean, like it's always self-compassion is always like a challenge to a lot of people. But like it is a thing that can be achieved, and it does. It can ebb and flow, but like when you do have it, it does help you grow a lot in succeeding where you want to pursue.
Oh, wow. So what really actually inspired you to say, okay, music, this is it? Right. What inspired you?
Well, so when I was in, I think it was grade 10 or grade 11, I had this Christmas gala. And what happened was a lot of my music teachers knew that I was pursuing music, so they decided me to do a piano solo. And I was like, okay, sure. So I practiced hard. I practiced every single day of that month prior to the performance. And then on the performance day, there was 300 people. And
did you know?
I didn't really, like, I had, like, I was kind of warned ahead of time that there would be a lot of people. Because there was, like, so many performances going on. There was the high school choir, the high school band, the jazz band, and all this stuff going on. But, like, when I was there doing my piano solo, like, I was just like, okay, it's just an audience. I just went on to the piano and played. And then my mind blanked out. So then, like, I just try to do what any performer would do, which is just to keep going. And so I tried to keep going. Only every mistake led to another mistake. And eventually you just couldn't really tell what piece I was playing anymore. So it was, I just stopped. And it was devastating.
Right. And how, so did you actually stop in the middle of playing?
Yeah. So then I was just like, I tried to restart because like, I don't know, like performers do sometimes restart in the middle of performances. It's tough, but like, yeah, it just felt like I guess I just couldn't really do it at the time, and then I was really devastated. So then I was thinking to myself, what if I just quit? And then I was thinking, like, then a thought just came to me of what life would be like without music, and I was just like, you know, I can't do that. I mean, I know.
And quitting is not supposed to be an option. That is my motto. Like, if I disappoint myself, or if somebody disappoints me in my dream or whatever, I'm not gonna stop. Right. Because it's your dream, it's your passion. Right. And that passion was put in you for a reason. And I always say that if a passion was put in you for a reason, you're gonna face challenges. Yeah. If you see yourself not facing challenges, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah, you're not progressing.
You're not progressing, you're not doing anything. And how did you pick yourself up from there? Because obviously some people end up choosing to quit. Yeah. Right? Yeah. How did you pick yourself up from there?
Well, after realizing that I didn't want to quit music, I was just like, okay, I'm full on heads on for music. And one of the things I did was like facing your fears. That was a lot of it.
Which is the crowd.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like, I tried to perform in front of people at home. Okay. I tried to talk about it a lot to people, just to kind of open up so that you could also acknowledge it to yourself too. Right. Of the things that you're anxious about, of the things that you feel, and really just work hard. Like, if learning how to pick yourself up from after being pushed down from a battle is usually pretty tough, but like, it's when you're able to do stuff like self-forgiveness, when you're able to do stuff like feel determined that you know that is possible. I think that's also a big thing too, just knowing that what you're aiming for is definitely a possible thing for you. That's definitely an encourager to pick yourself up.
Right, and that's all positive thinking, right? It's all positive thinking. If you obviously have negative thinking, you're going to stay stuck there.
Right, exactly. You have to keep reinforcing that positive mentality. Right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm proud of you to be like thinking like that at a young age. Not a lot of people think like that.
It is a hard time.
It is a hard time where you're thinking, okay, so if I had really, like, if I had not even started, remember when the person is like, oh, how can you start now? Right. In your mind, you'll be now replaying that, right? Saying, okay, I think I should have not even bothered myself, right? But I'm actually proud of you for having to be able to pick yourself up and to encourage other people on how they can also not give up when they fall or get into a trench or hurdle or whatever, right? But so going back to film, I mean, like going to acting, right? Yeah. Describe your acting style. Do you have an acting style, or are you just flexible, or do you have a particular style that you can say, this I am comfortable doing?
Well, that's actually something that I'm still in the process of discovering. I mean, it's kind of acting at my... Well, actually, everything's kind of a growing process for me, especially acting at the moment. Right. But I think it's more of just experiencing it. Like just kind of seeing if you're comfortable with things like, am I comfortable if I do this role now? Maybe I'll figure out if I'm comfortable with doing other roles similar to this. Or I think it's mainly just discovering who you are. It's pretty adventurous.
So now that you've mentioned about discovering who you are and knowing which role that you want to you're comfortable playing.
Yeah.
Does it if some people were to come and say, not even come and say, but some people think that if you do a particular role, it doesn't mean you're as talented as somebody who can do multiple roles, right? In terms of if you can do comedy, and you can still do thriller. If you can do drum, and you know what I mean. And they say if you can do all those styles of acting, that's the most talented person compared to one with one style. How do you agree or disagree? What do you think about that?
Well, that's a great question.
Right.
Well, I would...
Because, sometimes, actually, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, don't worry.
Because if you see the likes of Adam Sandler, right? Yeah. He's a comedian, right? Yeah. We know him for comedy and whatever. Right. But then if you see him maybe acting in a thriller, you'll be like, whoa. Right? Yeah. So would they consider that person talented, or... Because obviously it won't be the same, and they'll be like, why did they put him? Why did they give him that role?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, I think everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, and really things are more highlighted in what they're like comfortable, and not just comfortable, but what their strengths are. So like, whether someone is capable of acting all these diverse roles versus one person who's only capable of doing one type of role but is really good at it, I think it would be that. I think it would more be like, if someone has a strength, like a really strong part in this, I think that's awesome, because like really it's more that what defines a good actor would more be of being able to portray what is intended to do. And I guess that's what all of us as actors do, whether it be if you're diverse in those roles or not. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
It kind of does. So what do you prefer? Which type of role do you prefer in film? What types of roles do you prefer in film? Seeing that you've actually acted as a prostitute's friend and the lead role of somebody who's insecure, Ursula, and just a secretary and pulling a Nick.
Yeah.
So seeing that you've played all those roles, which role would you say you're really comfortable and love portraying most of the time?
So far, most of the roles I've always been given for a majority of the time are either serious roles or heavily emotional roles.
Right.
So
you're heavily emotional, you're good.
And I guess right now I guess because of that, I'm just I'm used to getting a dramatic kind of role, but I would like to explore in comedy actually someday, just to see what it's like, because like I don't know, not many people perceive me as a comedic person, but I'm like,
but then you have a script,
you're
right? It's only a matter of you learning emotion, I guess.
I guess. I mean, I want to do it someday, and then I want to do more adventure related stuff. So
that
so
should be pretty cool.
Just explore out there, some action packed stuff. I would love to do something like that.
Action.
Like
working with Jackie Chan.
Ooh, like martial arts, that would be cool. There's actually this one production that I was asked to be a part of, and we're still trying to figure out how it's gonna work and stuff. But like, there does involve some martial arts in it that I'll have to do. I'm hoping that the production will go, though. I can't really say much about it for now. So.
Okay. Oh, wow. Good luck to that.
Thank you.
And I just hope everything works out well for you on that one. And I would be so looking forward to see it.
Yeah. I also have to learn how to speak Japanese, so I need to
have to?
Well, I have to learn how to speak Japanese for my character for that. So I'm like, okay, I need to pick that up.
Awesome. So we've worked together on Pulling a Nick, right? Other than just acting, like we mentioned before, you're also a music composer, right? And you composed a theme for Pulling a Nick, right? Like 3 songs for Pulling a Nick, right? How did it make you feel to say this is my work? And that was your first work that you did as a composer? How did it make you feel?
I thought it was amazing because it was just like, it's like baby steps, just like you're seeing the progress go from like point A to point B, and you're just like, you're seeing it become a reality.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, when I finished composing my first soundtrack for, my first song for the soundtrack, I was just like, I really love this.
Right.
Yeah, like it was a whole, I'm very new to composition, but like everything that I've learned from the process was really fun.
Right.
And like I'm glad that I had the opportunity to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was actually good.
Thank
like
you.
when you listen to it, it's really a pretty good piece, right? Mm-hmm. And you think it was done professionally. Not that I'm saying it wasn't like you're not professional,
no,
but then like somebody who's really experienced in doing it, right?
Thank you.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, there's lots of talent here in Edmonton, right? So why not, right? How challenging is it? Which one's more challenging, actually? I would think personally, before I even ask you that question, that theater, I find theater being more challenging than film.
Oh.
Because I think theater, aren't you supposed, because I've never done theater. Well,
oh yeah.
I've only done stage, but maybe it's because you have to rehearse until you get it,
yeah.
right? And it was a short stage drama.
Right.
But compared to theater and film, right? Film, you have parts where you're filming,
right.
and they takes.
Right.
If you make a mistake or forget,
right.
take. So theater, on the other hand, is it like, you have to be perfect, or how does that work?
Well, with my experience, I mean, yeah, you can't really do retakes when you're on stage. You have to own it,
right?
So it does.
So what if you make a mistake? How do you?
You pretty much just own it. I mean, like, unless it's like if it's super big, I mean, it's kind of hard to cover up. One time when I was directing Grease and running the show,
right.
One time one of the actors forgot to turn off his mic and was going backstage and swore while he was backstage, so everybody in the audience heard, but you can't cover that up. So unfortunately there's stuff like that happened in a one-time performance. So but I guess with theater, or I mean with film acting, you can redo things, so that is a positive to that. Okay. I think because I've done theater for so long, there's like a comfort zone to it versus me going into film acting, which I've only done for 2 years so far. Okay. And yeah, it's still like a growing process for me. I find the audience for film acting a lot more intimate, which is like because like everything's more closer to you, like the cameras and the sound, so I feel it is more intimate versus the stage theater stuff. The audience has a distance, so there are things that they may not catch on if the focus is on a different thing. Okay. But stuff like that story I told you about, you can't really get away from that.
All right. Yeah. Oh wow, I can imagine how they felt afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So who's your favorite actor who inspires you? Like when it comes to acting, who inspires you?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about it?
What's very ironic is I actually don't really have much of an inspiring actor at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I bet you're your own inspiring actor.
Well,
well, you might as well be your own fan, be your own, inspiration.
I mean, like, I just kind of grow from other people, really.
Right.
I mean, like, I grab ideas, I grab concepts, I learn from other people, from who I talk to.
Right.
Yeah.
And what inspires you in music? Like now that you're grown, you know music, you're learning music. What inspires you every day to do music?
Just there's this awesome feeling you get when you're just making the music. Like it's just expressing yourself too. Like if I'm playing on the piano by myself and like I have this super sucky day, I sit down and I play like this awesome like song, and then I just feel better. Like, like it's just like music has, there's this theory that music has this way of creating, of almost like dictating the atmosphere of how people feel and I guess sometimes it's kind of, I guess, right, when it comes to like stuff like if you ever tried to watch a movie without any film track to it, it's kind of, it's pretty odd. Yeah. Like you could, like if you try watching a horror movie and there's like no like scary music playing in the background while some dude is exactly. I mean, like it's like one of those like it's one of those things that add to the effect to it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Awesome. So, and lastly, like before we get into the fun part of the show, I have one last question. What should we expect from you? What should we expect? Like, what's coming?
Oh, okay.
What are we watching? Or what are we listening to? Like our ears in terms of music, our eyes in terms of film.
Yeah.
What should we expect from you?
Well, I actually have a concert next week.
Okay, all right.
My first. Cool. Well, I had a rehearsal this morning, so it's for University of Alberta concert band. Okay. Where we'll be performing a bunch of songs. Yeah, you guys can check it out. I can actually like.
You can send us the link, please.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Yeah. There's aside from like music related stuff. I will be acting in during the summer for this production called Breaking Beethoven, like I mentioned earlier. Okay. And it's about this girl named Sky. She's a writer, and her client wants her to write a story about Immortal Beloved, which some of you guys who don't know Beethoven, after he died, he actually wrote a letter that's addressed to Immortal Beloved, and it's this 14-page long letter. And nobody actually knows up to now who Immortal Beloved is. So Sky, the writer that I'm acting as, she's trying to discover who the Immortal Beloved is. Okay. And she becomes more heavily involved in piano. She starts picking it up.
Which is something that you do anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll be playing a bunch of Beethoven pieces too.
Right.
So that's something to look forward to.
Okay,
and
definitely,
I'm also going to be composing for a score called Who Killed Mary Sue?
All right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, we look forward to that.
Yeah.
And definitely send it to us.
Right.
And we can put it on our page, YouTube. And actually, guys, you can follow her on Facebook and Instagram. Are you on Instagram and Twitter?
Well, I don't have Twitter. Well, actually, I technically do. I just don't use it.
Use it? A lot of us don't use Twitter, but we got Twitter. And then you're like, okay, how do the Americans use Twitter? And us Canadians, we can't. Right? Not that we can't, but I'm really not interesed. Personally. Like, I can't really keep up with the technology, right? I was saying
so crazy.
I was like early on early on before having you here, I was actually talking about technology, how we cannot keep up. You know, like I was looking at Facebook. Right? Like Facebook now has stories.
Right.
Really? Where do you want me to go? Do you want me to go to Snapchat, Instagram, or Facebook? Like,
it's just so much. Like, how can you like do all of it?
It's too much. And I used to be like a social media junkie. I used to be so. Not that I'm saying I don't go there as often. Well, I don't go there as often anymore because I can't keep up. Right? Because I'm like, okay, now these stories. Which story should I go to? Instagram. Which one's safer? Which one's more private? Which one's not? What do I want to put out there? Right? Because you really do not want to put all your life out there. Right? You protect yourself. Right?
Exactly.
So it's one of those you're like, how am I gonna keep up with this? And you saying Twitter, right? Next thing we're gonna hear, Twitter's got stories.
Oh. That's gonna be crazy.
Right? Can you imagine, right? Because already there's Periscope.
Yeah.
Periscope it's the same as live.
I've never even heard of Periscope before.
Oh yeah, Periscope is the same as live.
Wow.
Like Facebook Live. And I think Periscope was before live, actually. Then I was still a bit, following social media a little bit, but after until live, Facebook Live, I'm like, I can't keep up with this. Or maybe I'm getting old, I don't know. But it was so lovely, like having to sit down and talk and know more about what you're doing and where you've started and how it actually motivates other people out there, right? That's the whole purpose of the show, because I want people out there to just get inspired, motivated. Some people just end up to a point where they give up. Right. They're like, I can't go on anymore. Somebody has said something to me, and words are powerful. Words can either destroy you or make you. I agree with that. Right? And it's up to you to choose to be destroyed or to be like you and pick yourself up and go, right? Yeah. So, guys, before we end the show, obviously you know which part of the show that we're going into now. We're doing the game, and Patricia here is gonna show us. She's gonna show us a game that she enjoyed doing in her childhood. You actually have it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, cool. Game time, guys, and right now we're Patricia here is gonna be teaching me on how first of all, the name of the game, and obviously the name of the game and how we play it.
Yeah. All right, so the game's initially called Uno, Dos, Tres, only we're going to go for English so that you don't have to do extra thinking.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. And initially the objective of the game
like
is...
Ichni Sanchi?
Huh?
Okay, you're the one that wants to learn Japanese, so I kind of know something. So Ichni Sanchi, you know? So,
you know more Japanese than I do.
Well, Missy Elliott, too much of Missy Elliott, you get right? But anyway, doesn't matter. Alright, sorry.
Oh, no, don't worry. So, yeah, the objective of the game is to get rid of all your cards. The cards will be evenly divided among us, too.
Okay.
This game can be played among a lot of people, too.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, and so I'll just divide it evenly while I'm talking. So, when you get your deck of cards, you're not supposed to look at what cards you have. You're just supposed to like keep it closed in like this and just keep at it, I guess, if that's awkwardly explained. But anyway.
Also, they all have to be facing down.
Yeah, I'll have to be
You
facing
don't need
down.
to see my cards, I don't need to see your cards, and I don't need to see my cards.
Yeah.
We both don't need to see anything that we have. Okay.
So the aces are 1, and we're pretty much counting in the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 10, and then Jack, Queen, King.
Okay.
So then when you say, let's say I say a card that, let's say I say 1, and then the card, when I flip over the card that I have, it turns out to be a 1, then both of us have to put our hand down, and whoever's the last person to put their hand down has to grab the cards.
All right.
Yeah.
So the more cards you have, the more you're losing. Right. Okay. So I think I kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. We actually had a game that's similar to that. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah. It kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah. Flapjacks, maybe? I think Flapjacks is similar to it, only you're dealing with jacks.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't even remember. There was lots of card games that we played when we were young.
Yeah. But, and if you say, let's say we don't, like I put down a 1 and it's not an ace, we just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you say the number, or who says the number before we put the card down?
Usually it just alternates between a person. So if I'm putting down my card, I say the number that's in order to your...
Okay, so it has to be in order. It doesn't have to be random. Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
And 1.
So then I also put my 1 as well?
No, you say 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when it's one person at a time. Okay.
Yeah.
2.
Great. 3.
4.
5. Close.
6. Oh my gosh, why am I? Okay. 8.
9.
There you go. So how does it work?
Then we just get the card, like put our hand down, and then since you're the last person, you would have to get the cards.
Oh, that's how it works. Okay.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay. Now I understand. Okay. Let's start again. So we say we're now on what? 7, or do we continue? Do we start again, or do we continue?
We start again, and you get to start first since you're the one that got the card.
That got the card. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes! I got it!
Nice.
It's okay.
1.
Oh, and then I get it.
At least one card.
It's okay.
Yeah.
1.
2.
3.
4. 5. 6.
7. Oh, there you go! I got it! Okay, now I got it!
She's on a roll.
No, but I guess it's one of those, the reasons why I want games on this show is because nowadays people are just focused on social media, on technology and stuff. And this is fun. You know what I mean? You get to laugh, interact with people like face to face, forget about your phone and whatever, and you become more social, right? And I think I'm beginning to like this. I don't know if we just want to continue keep going because we can keep going. It's okay.
Just keep going.
And then we can finish the comments.
They love you so much bayakukhalela. I will not give up ngizabafalela. I'm stealing your heart mina nginjengesela bafuna ukusalela. Just cause I'm with you bathi kuzaphela. You set me free, you can call me Lola. I would just love you forever and never and shout out a love from my people.
Oh my gosh. How many cards is that?
2 cards.
She got 2 cards. I might as well. I think I'm pretty.
You got the whole box. Oh no, you guessed that. I can just
I'll,
read, you
I'll
know.
accept the fate.
Right.
2, 3.
And then we're
Yeah.
done. Yay! Yay! But it was fun. Thank you so much. I had so much fun. Oh my gosh. Well, I hate losing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was gonna be sobbing right now, saying, "Oh my gosh!" But it's a fun game, actually. Yeah. And now I know the next time we have a girls' night out,
Oh
bring our
yeah.
cards, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it'll be fun. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much, Patricia.
problem.
And now we've actually come to the end of the show, you guys. Like, this was so much fun. I wish you were here. But anyway, you were part of us as we were playing, and it was so awesome. And thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to the show. And Patricia, thank you for coming, actually.
Oh, thank you for
It was
inviting me.
such a pleasure to have you here, and I look forward to working with you again.
Yeah.
Like, looking forward to working on Paranoia. Oh my gosh,
my
that's
gosh,
like exciting me right now.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of projects, right? Other than just that one. And I look forward to your work.
Thank you.
That's that you're doing with other production companies and your music as well.
Yeah.
Now we've come towards the end of the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, little girls with dreams become women of vision. Take care. Cheers and bye. What are you going to do now? Like cut.
Baby.